The last time I did mushrooms, and I fucking shit you not, I did too many. Way too many fucking mushrooms. I'm not even fucking lying. Freaking out. I met the great mother on that trip.
Oh, wow.
You know, I started freaking out, and the great mother comes in and goes, "Hey, what's wrong? Relax, take it easy." Pulls me out of my body to look at me and to look at myself, freaking out. I'm like, "Really?" She goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna put you back. There's nothing to freak out about." And I looked around, and it's this geometric. It was like everything fucking made sense, man. Here with my good friend Carlos.
Que hola, mi gente.
The absolute legend, Duncan Trussel.
What's up, Duncan? How you doing?
I'm great. Happy to be here.
Welcome to Miami.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course.
When they told me you were going to be on, this is the first official podcast, under my moniker.
That's right.
Wow.
And having you as my first guest is serendipitous.
It is.
And a synchronicity at its best.
Yeah,
I'm honored.
Yeah, he just learned that word actually. So
Wow.
it was great. It was great.
What kind of a fucking asshole do you? This is how you introduce me.
I'm just saying you just learn the synchronous word. It's okay, man. You're doing great.
I speak English very good.
I know you do. Yeah, it's fine.
ISO level 2.
Pepe, I'm just saying you're learning. You're in the vocabulary.
Anyway, Duncan, what brings you to the sweltering swamps of Miami, my friend?
I'm doing some stand-up this weekend at the Improv. Are you coming? Are you coming to the show?
Pepe's coming.
Yes,
Awesome.
you remember Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I do. Yeah.
I'm always coming, man.
He did say that. That's right.
You're too young for that shit.
It's okay,
yes.
brother. Yeah.
Okay, I will absolutely be there. It's an honor. Me, my sister, probably my mom. So be
Great. I used to be always coming, but then I got old.
I got on antidepressants. That's what happened.
That's the worst.
That's probably what happens, dude. Yeah, I got it.
What's the point? You fix the depression, but you can't come anymore.
Yeah, no, you're just sitting. Well, it makes you look good if you're with like a girl that you're like, she thinks you're a porn star.
Yeah.
It's just like, you just don't come. That's right, bitch.
At least you're not crying while you're fucking. So
Yeah.
that's the real thing. So at least you have that. I still do. But
Me too.
no, good. So does that really work? Duncan, you're here in Miami. Is this your first time in Miami, or when's the last time you were here?
So the last time I was here was years ago with Rogan at Coconut Grove.
Yes.
But it's been ages since I've been here.
Wow, Coconut Grove.
The Coconut Grove Improv. Remember that, Pepe? You remember that?
That's a rough fucking place.
Time, I know.
That's a rough place. That's back. It's funny because Joey Diaz, I heard Joey Diaz once. Was it Joey or was it Joe? One of the two said, if you don't speak Spanish, and if you come to Miami and you don't speak Spanish, you're gonna fucking lose the crowd here. But we've evolved. I'm just letting you know.
I gotta go take some quick Spanish
Do you know any Spanish? Do you know any Spanish at all, Duncan?
Not enough to hold a comedy audience.
But it's evolved since then. The days of the Grove, and the Grove was rough, man. They had people walking there.
Yeah,
it was a tough time.
The Grove was
coming
crazy
there
time.
strapped.
But now we're at the Improv in Doral. It's a little different. Doral.
It's a nice environment.
Oh, you've been there? Yeah. Doral. It's a nice club. They opened it up in 2019.
Okay.
I love it. It's pretty great. Have you been to the club yet? Have you got into that Doral area?
No, I have not. I just got in last night.
Amazing.
I have yet to go there. I'm super excited about it. I got to ask you though, Pepe, do you come strapped to shows?
No, I'm an icon here in Miami. I don't know if you know that. The only thing I come strapped with is La Moronga, Papa.
That's right.
La Moronga.
He knows that.
Okay, how did you
go.
do my vocabulary? Got it. La Moronga.
That's actually also an antidepressant. So you can just
100%. If you throw that into the crowd today, you might walk out with a couple of you're a married man with children. You probably they're gonna think that you have tremendo machete.
There's a handcuff on La Moronga.
That's right, dude.
There you go. There you go.
Man, talking about La Moronga and just things that we all have and belong. Duncan, you're coming from LA, but you live now in Austin.
That's right.
Texas, right?
Yeah.
What do you think? So LA obviously went through its all fair share of things with COVID and everything. You're now in Austin. What do you think is that difference between Austin and LA that you see? Like, why do you gravitate towards there? And then we'll talk about the Miami aspect of it.
Yeah, I think Austin is like, it reminds me of LA in the 90s when I first got there.
Okay.
I think it's like a little less, I don't know how to put it, there's less safety rules everywhere. You know what I mean? Like it's Texas, so like you can take your kids to like these springs where there's 1,000 places for them to die. Like
Your kids can die at a moment's notice.
In a moment's notice. Slippery steps, cliffs that you can jump off of into like 3-foot water.
Right.
And like in LA, there would be like signs in front of signs in front of signs.
I mean,
there's
like signs on benches.
2022, you want to, it's like, when we were kids here in the 80s and 90s, it didn't fucking matter. What are you doing? You want to teach him how to swim? You throw him in the fucking pool and see what happens.
That was it. When you were a kid, when you went out in the morning to go play, which is what kids used to do.
Of course.
You were probably going to die.
100%. Especially with me and Pepe.
There was a high probability that you weren't coming back.
Especially me and Pepe, being from Cuba, obviously you could die at a moment's notice no matter what. So it's obvious. I feel like Texas is just the new Cuba, really. If you really think about it. It's not even Miami.
Well, let me tell you, how do you find, I know that Joe's building the comedy scene down there, or trying to build it up. I didn't know you moved down to Austin. Weren't you in North Carolina for a little bit?
That's right. Yeah, I went up to North Carolina to get out of the pandemic in LA. Went up into this little mountain town.
Yeah.
And then, it was just too small. So
really
went to Austin. Yeah.
What part of North Carolina were you in?
Asheville, North Carolina.
Oh, that's a real hippie place, man. Right?
I mean, people call it a hippie place. I would call it more of like a witchcraft.
That's like the next level of hippie, I think. It's just taking it to that
like
level.
Wiccan. You have a bunch of Wiccan white girls with fairy tattoos on their
Wiccan
back.
white girls.
Yeah, Wiccan, polyamorous.
Oh, fun. I know Pepe likes that.
Witches.
Witches. Polyamorous witches. This sounds like something.
That's your category on Pornhub, I think.
Not the worst thing.
Not the word. Sounds like Burning Man. I don't know if. Have you ever been to Burning Man?
I haven't, but I mean, I can 100%
we
see how that is. Have you?
Weekend, yeah, I've been.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I can imagine. It's basically Burning Man in Miami all the time.
We have shit. It's funny you say that, but we have a Burning Man in Miami. That's like an offshoot of it. It's fucking bootleg.
Pepe, you go to Burning Man?
I've been to Burning Man, yes.
No way.
Yes, I've been to Burning Man. I burned. I'm an old soul, my man. I'm an old soul. I'm a puppet. I'm eternal,
He's been to Woodstock, I think, even, yeah?
Yeah, 99. Woodstock 99 when it really fucking...
That wasn't an easy one.
Yeah, that was a good one. No, but it is what it is. Burning Man is fucking amazing. I don't know what it's like now. It's been years.
It's amazing. It's still good. Pepe, we gotta go. I'm under my camp. Let's go to the playa. Let's do it.
I heard they corporatized it a little bit. Like there's
You know what? This is what always happens. People who've been at a place for a while, they say it used to be better. That's not just with music festivals. It's with countries. It's
in general.
You know what I mean? It's the quality of getting
Cuba's a number one example. My country, or I'm exiled from. It used to be fucking great.
Right.
Go visit that bitch now.
It's crazy. Go. Yeah, it's not the same. It's the Burning.
Fidel's been dead for 10 years. We're still blaming him for shit.
That's just the way to do it.
Yeah.
You gotta blame people.
Well, I mean, 10 years isn't a long time.
Yeah,
right?
That's true. I mean, out of like 60-something of communism, I think he'll deal with it.
Yeah, you have the ghost of that bastard hovering around of a
He
different
also
frequency.
fucked up Burning Man. A lot of people don't know that.
He's the reason Burning
He got involved in it, man. It sucks.
Oh man, Duncan. So you're here in Miami now.
Yes.
What are you looking forward to? Is there something what's your perception of Miami so far, being in all these places? You've been to LA, North Carolina, now Austin. What's your perception of Miami?
Well, here's the thing about Miami. The people here are infinitely cooler than me. Ooh. So like I'm like in Miami, people are just not as uptight as I am. Like I'm a kind of like neurotic dude. Yeah. Already being around you guys, I'm like, I gotta get some gold. I don't have any gold. I want some gold.
The one that taught me that.
Papa, the only reason we got gold is because we understand fiat is going to be worth dicks in about maybe a year.
That's true.
It's all real estate, crypto, and jewelry, baby. We're on the head of the market.
Shit, you're the next Alex Jones.
Pepe's crazy. He's gonna get canceled.
Alejandro Jones, baby. That's Alejandro Jones.
Alejandro Cojones is what they call him.
Wow.
Yeah, you feel like that's. I feel like we're also infinitely dumber than most people, but we also like live in a world that like everything is just like beaches. We live it through all these stuff, so we're kind of just oblivious.
That's very humble of you to say.
I'm just saying.
But I think one of the qualities of uncool people is when they see very cool people, they can't accept it. So they go, "Oh, they're dumb." No.
Duncan,
You're not dumb.
You're the coolest fucking guy.
You really are.
You really are. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
He loves this shit. He's really into like
coolest guy that we've run into in the last 5 years.
I'll accept it. I'll accept it. Thank you. I have no gold. And also, look at how I'm anemic. Like, that's my goal out here.
That's like your goal?
Just get a little bit of sun, man. Go to the beach.
We'll go. Well, we can take Duncan out to the beach.
We can take Duncan out to the beach.
Would you love that?
Yeah, I'd love that.
We got a nudist beach here that's really fucking
Not a nudist beach.
No, I'm definitely going to that.
I'm a never nude. I'm not doing that. No way.
You don't have to. You can just be like me. I walk around in a Speedo and a boner and get
just smoking.
I look like an MC Hammer video in the early 90s.
Pepe, here's the problem. When I'm in a Speedo, people can't tell I have a boner. See, this is why I don't go to new beaches.
Don't worry about it. We'll get you a roll of quarters. You'll be fine.
Yeah, for sure. Dude.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
There you go, my brother.
Look, so Duncan, just for people that don't know, you have a podcast, Duncan's Trussel Family Hour. You also had your show on Netflix.
That's right.
Which is Midnight Gospel.
That's right.
Midnight Gospel. Is there another season coming on that? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
No, Netflix canceled it.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, they canceled it.
I thought, honestly, it took me through the pandemic, honestly, because it was through that 2020. I remember watching that show, and I didn't really know much what it was based on, and then I realized it was based off like conversations you've had and podcast yourself as well.
That's it.
And was there any one of them that you were like, I can't put it on the show, it's too crazy, or you were like, the crazier the better to put it on Midnight?
Well, I mean, like, the whole show was crazy.
It was insane. It was a psychedelic trip. It really felt like that.
The imagery in that fucking show, man, and the animation. I can't even, I watched the South Park documentary 6 Days to Air or whatever.
Yeah.
Where they do, they write the show and they fucking go to air in 6 fucking nuts.
Oh, it's nuts.
And you watch something and you think, because South Park is made, it's not like the early days.
It's not, right?
And it's digital, I think.
It is,
now.
yeah.
Then you watch Duncan's fucking show.
Oh my God.
And you're like, that must have taken 5 years to do.
Forever.
How long did that take? I did want to ask you that. How long did it take for that whole process? What was the iteration of
one fucking episode of that must have been.
Yeah, it took forever. And because Netflix, I mean, look, they let us make the show, so I have no hard feelings about them.
Sure.
Whatever. But they let us make this insane show. One of the really cool things they did is they let us animate in the United States. Like, a lot of people don't know that a lot of animation, it gets shipped off to other countries where people do the animation. So you only get like 3 chances to do any kind of edits or changes.
Because they're all over the world. They're not here.
Exactly. But they let us do it in-house. So we had this team of so many animators, and
unbelievable.
It was unbelievable. And animators are a lot like comedians. They're if comedians were recluses,
right.
You know what I mean? But they're all punk rock, fast. All of them are just and I mean this in the good way.
The best way possible.
They're weirdos like us.
But we're weirdos as comedians.
Exactly.
That's what makes us us.
That's what I mean. But it's
but we don't know how to draw. That's the
their stage is just sitting there drawing, and these the rooms are dimly lit so they could see the colors.
Wow.
And the feeling when you're around, I don't know what you call it, a nest of animators.
Yeah.
It's this strange focus, and it's a really intense job. So yeah, it was wild to watch the very slow process. And the other thing that sucks about animation is, just in any show, if you're shooting Friends or whatever, you got to cut big chunks of the show to make it fit.
Shit.
In
within that, right?
So, but when you're cutting animation, you just cut 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Of someone sitting in front of a computer. It hurts.
Oh, that hurts.
I'm sure, dude.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Who was responsible for the imagery on that?
Lots of people.
I'm sure.
Lots of people, man. Like there was obviously Pendleton Ward. He made Adventure Time. Then we had this genius Jesse Moynihan, who is like so brilliant. And he's real. Like he has his own tarot card deck and stuff.
Oh, that's the type of guy. He's like an astrology guy.
That's right.
That's a rare breed. I love that.
Yeah. And when we made it, we wanted to like wrap in like some like metaphysical, weird, mystical stuff.
I love that shit. Yeah.
Netflix gave us 2 weeks to have like what's called a writers summit, where people just came in to help us like get the beats for each episode out. Right. Weird Al came in, which was fucking
awesome. That's amazing,
dude. It was nuts. I thought I was in a dream. I was like frozen. I
feel like he's also just like that type of person that would enjoy that show, watch that show, and be involved in that show. Like I mean, like you guys probably were like match well in your energies and all that.
Yeah, man, and he's a like living god. If you're a nerd, you know, so he's like the best. But then also we had like Maja Da'u, who is a witch in LA, came in to help us. A literal witch, an actual witch, and then we had like occult scholars come in to help us like work out like how to get like certain ideas in there. Not like creepy ideas, but there's just like, of course, you know, like some episodes were based on like the Kabbalah and stuff.
Yeah,
and like
shit. Man,
exactly.
I wonder if the one of the prerequisites for the animators was you had to like, you know, have a psychedelic experience because
it felt very, for the viewer, I feel, at least it felt like that. I mean, let me tell you something. Drugs are legal in Miami, basically, but
listen, here's the thing. This is how cool Netflix is. You know, in that show, there's like this weird creature with a long neck and a lantern head, and at one point in like a meeting with like Netflix executives, one of them was like, what is that creature? Like, where did you come up with that idea?
Sure.
And I'm like, well, Pepe, I was at Burning Man. And I was in a tent smoking DMT.
Oh, good shit, man.
And like, I saw this like, I don't know, cow thing with like a lantern head.
Yeah.
And I remember like looking at it, and then, you know, again, this is DMT, so I don't know if my eyes were open or closed. I'm guessing closed, but with my eyes closed, I'm like, you know what I'll do? I'll look away from it, and I'll look back, and it'll be gone, because that's what works on acid, right? So like, I look away, look back, it's just moved forward like a few.
This is actually coming towards you? That's amazing.
It's probably a fucking Great Dane, and then your brain is at the right side.
You basically had like an artificial intelligence like experience, like
who
just
knows?
like artificial like reality.
Let me tell you, my friend Otto and I, who introduced me to psychedelics.
Otto is great. Yeah,
Otto, we call that going full fucking UFO. Full UFO.
I went full UFO. But I was thinking, like, what the fuck, man? Like, all my friends who've told me about this and all the stories about it, you see God. You see, like little sentient fractals turning into mystical figures. I'm seeing, like, a cow with a lantern head.
You're like, you're giving my money back. This is crazy.
Looks like some symbolic, but you know what? If you think about symbolism, there's some Carl Jungian, you know, some sort of archetype thing. I don't know.
Pepe, I appreciate
what do you think it would be, Pepe? You know about this stuff.
I mean, we don't got to get into all of that right now.
You know what, Pepe? My theory on why I saw that instead of all the cool stuff is just like, oh, I must be dumb. Like, this is the best.
I would probably see a floating pastelito if I was me, honestly. That's all I would say.
No way, man. It's the total opposite, my friend. Aren't you a Buddhist?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I'd make a connection there.
Pepe, you know, Buddha, you're saying the cow thing was a Buddhist thing?
That's where he's going with this. I can tell.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what? I'm going to have to look deeper into the scriptures. As of yet, I have not encountered cows with technological lantern heads in Buddhism, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, in Hinduism, you'll find a bunch of that shit. You'll find all of the technological stuff.
That's right. You're talking about those flying ships.
Yeah, what the fuck are they called? I don't know. I've done too much shit.
I watch Ancient Aliens. I know what you're talking about.
There you go. Exactly. Have you actually, you know, I've heard you in podcasts all throughout, and I love your shit. Have you ever seen or have you ever experienced any sort of alien? Everybody always like, and I know, you know, Joe Rogan, obviously, he's nuts on that. Have you ever had an experience with that? What is your thought on that? Or do you think it's a thing?
For sure, it's a thing.
Yeah.
And I have people that I trust who have experience that sort of thing, and I believe them.
Sure.
But as of yet, outside of the thing we've all probably seen, which is you look in the sky, you're a little stoned, and you're like, whoa, oh my God, it's an alien. But I have yet to see the
Well, you just had your first experience in Miami because that's a fucking illegal alien sitting right next to you.
Come on, I was just born in Mexico. I was born in Mexico. Leave it alone. There's a lot of illegal aliens here.
You was born in Mexico. That's why I said that. Anyway. Yeah, but, Duncan, that's funny that you should say that. Do you really think that fucking aliens come from out there in space and all of that shit?
Well, I mean, I think our understanding of space right now is probably, if I had to guess, pretty limited. I mean,
of course, yeah.
Like in the scale of universal time, it wasn't that long ago that we were monkeys. We were in trees. And now we have like this brand new technology that we're just using to peer out into the universe.
Yeah.
So our understanding of how space works, or what space is, or is it a universe? Is it a multiverse?
Yeah.
I think that like it's probably going to be looked at as a pretty like primitive idea that these ships have to come from space. Like they could be coming from who knows where. They could be coming from
another fucking universe. Even.
You've seen these Tic Tacs, man. They like those like the weird ships that like the Navy people on aircraft carriers have seen these things. They're like the US government is having to admit it now because so many of these people have been leaking this information. And that's really, it sucks. Like if you're in the military and you see one of these things and you talk about it, you could ruin your career.
You don't think that's a fucking psyop, man?
No, I don't. I don't think it's a psyop.
So you think the government is really admitting to having, something invading our space?
Pepe, they got to get ahead of it. Because here's the problem. A lot of people who have been around these things, and you can look this up. This isn't just like Reddit conspiracy stuff. This is like real.
No, yeah.
They're having physiological changes in their brain. They're getting sick from being too close to these things. And the VA is not covering their disability pay because these things aren't supposed to exist. So, and because of that, there's like, if I had to guess, there's like an underground in the U.S. military who are like, fuck this. Like, we're seeing it. It's making us sick. And you need to admit that it's real, at least enough so that like I can get disability pay now that I have some kind of weird brain damage from being around these things.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
that's like what I feel dating women in Miami. Honestly, it's the same feeling. They're really not there. That's the same feeling.
I got a theory on that, Duncan, and tell me what you think about it. Like, I don't believe, again, this isn't about me, but now that I have you here, I would love to hear what you think. I don't think that space really is that. I think that there's two things. I don't think we experience death in the first person. You know what I mean? Like, I think we experience death in the third. I see you die, but I don't know. I don't experience my own death,
Yeah.
Because if you think about, life and death in the timeline, like we experience it because we're in 3 dimensions and we have to. But if you go a dimension above that, our whole fucking line is supposed to be there.
Pepe, I don't want to be rude. But you're a puppet. So you're like the way puppets die might be different from the way humans die,
Well, yes, that's true. As long as something has its fist up my ass, I'm alive.
Well, in fact, that's the only time I feel alive.
It's almost you actually can be reincarnated by someone else.
That's what they do in
your arm up your ass.
Jackson Memorial Hospital. That's stage 1 of trauma.
That's right.
They do. But
you're the only reincarnated person that I think could be in Miami, really.
And the other thing is, I think all of this shit exists on a different frequency. I read something called the shadow biosphere. And it's like, and the best way I can put it to you is like, if you think about what an ant looks at your shoe, or, imagine when we look up at skyscrapers, we can't see the top.
Right.
The ant experiences the world as a bunch of fucking, like obstacles that are just constant. It has no idea that there's a society living, because of the scale, right?
Yeah.
We have these 5 little fucking antennas called, the 5 senses that work on the electromagnetic scale.
Right.
Outside of that, who the fuck knows what's going on here? You change a frequency or two, there could be another fucking society going on.
That's what Duncan say.
I just gotta say this. Y'all have the coolest podcast of all time. I'm sitting here and forget, no offense, Pepe. I'm learning, I've got to like change my ways of looking at things, obviously, but I'm like listening to what you're saying and also having to deal with the fact that I'm having one of the coolest conversations of all time with a puppet.
I know. I trip out every time. You would think that he, at first Pepe was just like always very surface level. He would just like smoke tobacco and like, eat pastelitos. And now
I smoke e-cigs.
I know.
And,
it's because he was like on house arrest for like a year, so he just really studied a lot.
I quarantined. I was doing self-quarantining way before I had an Argentine girlfriend with a wonderful pair of
fucking
breasts.
bro.
And she just left me recently, so I've been back
sorry,
in the mix.
Pepe. I'm really sorry.
Really.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. She'll make her way back.
I'm sure she will. Argentinian girls always do. They do. Have you been to? So obviously in Miami, there's a lot of Latin people. Have you ever been to Latin America? Or any places in Latin America?
Oh yeah. When I was a kid, my dad used to take me to Mexico.
Oh, Mexico, nice.
Like we've taken like vacations out there with the.
Have you ever been to Chichen Itza?
No, not yet, but I'd love.
That is already. Yeah. That place you go crazy.
Fucking energy there is crazy.
That's what I've heard. Yeah, man.
I was born in Mexico, and we actually went there when I was 10, which is a crazy.
One of my
experience.
friends would come back with like artifacts from there and stuff.
This place is nuts.
It's nuts, man.
Yeah,
Machu Picchu and fucking Chichen Itza. It's just weird, man. Like you feel it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I mean, think of it. We're like modern people. One of the dumb things we do is we think we've got it all figured out.
It's hubris.
It's hubris. We're so certain that this is the best way to do things.
Right.
And because those people are not here anymore and their civilizations are covered up by trees and jungles and just all the stuff that geologically has happened, we just make this assumption that we are more advanced than them. But
That's right.
I think that is really dumb.
It's fucking horseshit. That's only because we are.
Ego, bro.
I honestly believe that it's because we're judging what we judge intelligence and progress by is technological, prowess, I guess. But spiritual, what can we say? Spiritual advancement. We have zero fucking nothing. We know nothing about consciousness. We know nothing. If you look at ancient fucking Hindu society, for example, look at the things that they're talking about, and we're just coming to learn about consciousness now.
Yeah, there's books on all this.
This is thousands of fucking years old. You know what I mean? But they don't got a fucking iPhone. Fuck you.
That's right. We do.
And it's all that stuff, the iPhone, the computer, it was supposed to make our lives easier.
Yeah.
But it's not doing that. It just makes things more complex. I mean, I think if people from back then came and looked at us and saw that we were spending 40, 60 hours a week doing labor for other people and not being with our families, not enjoying
experiencing
our
that,
lives,
right?
they would think that we were insane. They're
like, what did we do all this for?
What's the point? Exactly.
I know. Yeah, it's a really good point. Yeah.
I think that the loss of man, and this again, we're getting a little fucking deep here, but
I love it.
Man's loss of sense of purpose that's come with technology. Like fucking television. Like David Foster Wallace said that shit. Fucking in the 90s. He was talking about that in Infinite Jest. We're watching fucking TV and wasting away all our human potential.
Yes. That's it, Pepe. Exactly.
Yeah. I know we have a TV on our phone, basically, so we're never going to stop.
Okay, think of this. Imagine if you came home and your dogs were sitting in front of a TV playing a video game where they were running dogs around a park. Think how depressing that would be.
You'd be like, Jesus Christ, get off game. Come on, let's go outside.
Let's go outside.
And that's what the fucking metaverse is going to be.
Yeah.
The metaverse is going to be it's the fucking Sims, man. You're going to put that fucking headset on.
How do you feel about that? Would you be interested in jumping in that metaverse, putting on those glasses and really in it? Or you think there's more? Do you think there's value to it? Obviously, or
here's the thing.
Yeah.
If you get into simulation theory, Nick Bostrom, the point he makes is because we already are on the precipice of having that option of who knows what, putting on a thing or getting a neural implant and boom, we're in some kind of alternate reality.
Yeah.
And humanity has only been on this planet for a tiny amount of time and we're in an infinite universe.
Right.
Then probably it already happened.
Right.
Meaning that the statistical probability that we are in a non-simulated reality is smaller than the probability that this is
the actual
simulation, that we are in the thing that you're talking about, that we already did it. Like, this is that thing that you're talking about.
This is the metaverse technically that we're already been on. Yeah.
Well, that
where's the dogs playing the video game?
That this being base reality is like the chances of that. But, you know, if you compare that to like the idea of, you know, infinite consciousness, right?
Yeah.
And there's like a limited amount of infinite conscious.
Right.
Right? Like a number or whatever. Like, who is it that fucking said this first, man? I forgot. But like, we're consciousness experiencing life through this body. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that idea, you know, is... You know, it's not that much different from the idea of a fucking simulation, right? It's a fucking video game. Like, fucking consciousness is just playing Call of Duty or fucking La Mierda in Miami.
That's it. Pepe, have you ever done nitrous oxide while you're on acid?
No, I have not done that.
Okay.
I'm sure you have.
This will really make you think, holy shit, it's a simulation.
This is all a simulation.
You'll see the grid. You'll see like these weird, like, I don't know.
Legit, like literal, like freaking grid. Oh, wow.
When I say you'll, I mean I don't know if everyone experienced that, and wouldn't recommend it, by the way. I'm like, this was a long time ago when I was in college, but I'm just saying, if you wanted some proof that maybe this is a simulation, that's one way to get the proof.
I wonder
anecdotally.
Right. And then what is that called? It's nitrogen.
You go to Hialeah, you get a Mustang, pull out the fucking nitrous, suck on
the nitrous of a fucking Mustang.
Whip it. So it's like a whip it.
Oh,
yeah, whip it. Yeah, you don't even have to go to a Mustang. Go get some whipped cream.
Do it right over the fucking Nissan.
Yeah. Wow, that's fucking intense, man.
Yeah,
that's wild.
man.
I wonder what it would be. You know, it's thinking from that perspective, like in having that psychedelic trip and different. You've done that. When did you do that, or like that, like?
Oh my god! Like when I got out of high school, I went through a pretty like intense acid phase.
And where were you at the time? You were in Asheville, or
yeah, that was in North Carolina. Yeah.
Have you ever? I feel like I've always wondered this. Doing it in a different location obviously would affect you. So, like, if you did it in a place like Miami, or doing it in a place like Asheville,
are you scared of bad tripping, Papi?
I think so. I would be scared of bad tripping because I feel like in Miami, it's just a place that so much is happening all the time. The traffic, the people, everybody's just in a rush, angry for all this stuff. That your mind is already at such a like weird level.
You
like
need a good
the
guy.
way that we live. Yeah, I know that being in a place like North Carolina, which is chiller, like your mind will just take it differently from your environment.
Okay, here's the thing. Number one. Definitely don't drive on acid. If you're in fucking traffic on acid,
basically we're driving on acid in this fucking city.
Something wrong. Like that's
you fucked it up.
You know, at the very least, like be in the back seat of an Uber. Wouldn't recommend that, but you know, definitely you don't want to be a cow. No, I wouldn't say it's the best drug for driving, but
no, that's I just mean in general, like just everything that like the cities are so different. Like where you're in your environment, obviously where your trip is gonna be.
It's true.
I'm assuming. Yeah,
it's true, but you know what? It's set and setting is what we say. Yeah. What's your mind state? Like, if you just had a breakup, Pepe, this might not be the time. Or if you know, if you're going through something, if you've got like shit you're procrastinating, probably not the best time. So the idea is clear your schedule. Find a nice, peaceful place. You don't have to leave Miami. In fact, y'all have the best beaches of all time,
we
man.
Do.
So I think it would be more like maybe don't go to the nudist beach. I don't know. I want to
you'll see a fucking dick that
start talking to you. I am your lord. They look like what the fuck was Shai Haludin?
That's right. Yeah, be careful with the fucking circumcision.
I love Dune.
Fucking Dune, man.
No, that is what they say, man. Frank Herbert, when he came up with the idea of Dune, he was on a shit ton of acid at a nude beach in Hawaii. And he was like, "This is the spice. That's a worm."
Imagine going to Hawaii and thinking of that. That's crazy.
You know what's crazy is the trip that you're describing. I had the last time I did mushrooms, and I fucking shit you not. I did way too many fucking mushrooms.
Yeah, I bet.
And I started to get a little fucking paranoid. Like I started to really, I felt myself going into a bad trip. And here's a little advice for all of you that are maybe new to this.
Yes.
The thing that always brings me back, especially like if you smoke that high potent fucking juggernaut weed that they have nowadays.
Yeah.
You go into a dark bathroom, turn on the shower and warm water. and you let it drop, on your head. And what you have there is an isolation tank, basically, because the water acts as it dulls the hearing. So you have it's like white noise. You have the warmth of the water, and it's dark. So what happens is that all of the sensory overload is calmed a bit. It's gonna ease it a little bit more than.
And you've done this.
Oh, I've done it all the time, man.
Pepe, here's what's gonna happen. Someone watching this is gonna have a bad mushroom trip. They're gonna find themselves in the shower, and they're gonna be like, "Oh wow, this is working." And then they're gonna think, "Wait, this is advice I got from a puppet."
Am I a puppet? Do I have something on my ass? What am I listening to a puppet?
I'll tell you what, Duncan, but I thought of you when it happened, and I'm not even fucking lying. I met the Great Mother on that trip.
Oh wow!
And I'm serious. I use that phrase exactly because I was freaking.
The Great Mother.
The Great Mother, man. Okay. It's I started freaking out, and the Great Mother comes in and goes, "Hey, what's wrong? Relax.
Yeah.
Take it easy." Pulls me out of my body to look at me and to look at myself freaking out. Going,
did you have an arm up your ass at that time?
Yeah, it's 24/7. It's a part of the lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at myself going, "Oh shit, Mama, really?" She goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna put you back. There's nothing to freak out about." And I looked around, and it's this geometric. It was like everything fucking made sense, man.
Was she hot?
She's the Great Mother. Don't disrespect her.
Sorry, I just want.
Oh my God! You're turning his Great Mother story into incest porn.
No, just in general. I'm just thinking about it.
And she puts me back into my body. She goes, "Okay, I'm going to put you back." That happened a couple of times. Every time I started to feel myself freaking out. And she says to me before, once the trip was wearing off, she goes, "You have to come see me again."
Wow.
And it's fucking scared. It was realer than reality, Duncan.
Yeah, I
know. It was realer than fucking us sitting down right here. And it's been hunting me for like the last year and a half.
That's fucking
She's
nice.
like, "You need to come back and see me."
Well,
maybe we should all go see her.
You don't, and here's what the good news.
Yeah.
You don't have to be on a ton of mushrooms to meet the Great Mother. Like in Buddhism, the idea is that we've been reincarnating here so many times. Like to understand how long you've been like reincarnating in this dimension. Imagine a dove flying over the like highest mountain on earth with a silk scarf in its beak. And it flies over once a year, and the very tip of the scarf brushes the very tip of that peak. Now imagine the amount of time it would take for that dove to erode that mountain down into a valley.
Yeah.
That's how long you've been doing this over and over, meaning everything has at some point been your mother. Everyone. Think of like the most
beautiful, man.
It's beautiful. So
That's
like
really
the next
fucking
time you're with an asshole and you're ready to
that's my mom.
You're like, "You used to be my mom."
Like a literal asshole.
I love that.
Okay, it kind of messes up.
That's a lot.
You know what, Pepe? I never took it that far. Right? Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. Thanks for ruining Buddhism for me. Damn it.
You really did that, dude. That's crazy.
No, that is a beautiful thought, man.
It is a beautiful thought. Another beautiful thought is to go to Duncan's show this week.
Yeah, please.
Today, so you're gonna be there tonight. Today's 8 p.m. and 10 p.m.
Yes.
Duncan, how long have you done comedy for? So this people know.
At least 18 years.
At least 18 years, and you've been traveling forever, touring, been on Rogan. You've had your own podcast. You're killing it. We love you over here, dude.
Thank you.
8 p.m., 10 p.m. What is like the craziest thing that's ever happened to you while you've been on tour? Maybe not psychedelic trip, but something that you can tell us. I know obviously you're touring right now. Is there something that's like, can't believe this?
Oh God,
that might happen tonight if you come to the show, bro. Maybe on stage, like obviously this whole stuff with like Will Smith, everything happened.
Here's
like,
what I'll tell
anything
you.
on stage
Jesus
that's
Christ,
happening,
Carlos,
that's
you're putting him on the spot here.
I'm not gonna say any other names.
Sure, you don't have to.
So once I was on tour with two comedians that I love very dearly, dear friends of mine.
Yeah.
And maybe, I don't know, we were a little stoned. And we're driving, and you shouldn't do that. I'll just say I was driving for the sake of the story, so it's on me. This is a long time ago, way before way past whatever the statute of limitations may be. I don't know what else.
This is a comedy podcast. All of this is art.
Right,
this is all fiction right
now.
All
fiction.
All bullshit. We're just writing here. I'm a fucking puppet. How the fuck is any of this serious?
Pepe, none of this is real. But at one point, Suddenly, we're not on the road anymore. We're driving on a train track. Fuck! We're literally driving on a fucking train track.
Holy shit, man.
The car's like.
And then you notice this, obviously, we were like yeah.
Yeah, but it's we didn't notice going on the train track.
Yeah, man.
So we're all yelling at each other like, what the fuck? This is your fault. The fuck off the train track. And thank God we got off the train track. But yeah, we're just off the top of my head. That's the first thing that comes to mind.
That's like Jack Kerouac fucking in the new, like the post-century, or what is it, post-century Jack Kerouac on the road. Never mind.
Jesus Christ,
He's
Pepe.
really going through it. No, Pepe.
You just did
Pepe's
a sunglasses
going through it.
drop.
It's okay, Pepe. You're fine. It's okay. Pepe gets crazy. Anything happen on stage ever that you've experienced that being like crazy? Like not in Miami in general, like not just on the road, but like anything on stage. Yeah.
None of like the stuff happening right now with like a lot of thank God.
Just
No, who would want to ever do? Why would you bring some violent shit up like that, man?
I'm just talking about in stage. If anything,
you want to fucking kiss this guy? Are you kidding me? This guy's amazing.
I will tell you, like once, like
I'm just worried because crowds in Miami got crazy, so I don't know. I want you to like be aware.
This is like actually a little stranger than that. Like this once, I was doing like I don't want to give it away. I was doing a joke that kind of involves like Satanism.
Okay.
And
just
and I shit you not. I don't know what it was, like something went through the sound system or something.
Oh shit.
And all of it sounded like a fucking like lion or
Shut
something.
the fuck up. Oh fuck.
I like had to stop the joke. I'm like,
in the middle of the joke has happened?
yeah. And I'm like,
fuck.
did y'all just hear like, and I felt so dumb. I'm like, but did anybody else just hear like like what sounded like a lion going? And like people in the audience are like, yeah,
bro.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's not part of the show, man. Lucifer.
No, in Miami, all you hear is like fucking Pepe and his burping because he drank too many beers. That's that's the type of burp you're gonna hear.
Look, I will take a Pepe burp over a disembodied lion roar.
It's more likely a pussy fart coming from the crowd with one of these fucking loose
when
bitches.
the hand comes out of the ass.
That's right. That's just the sound it makes. Duncan, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much,
Duncan.
It's great meeting you.
It's great meeting you. It is a fucking honor.
Yes, it is.
Likewise.
Honestly.
Let's go on a trip together, dude. I think we should go on a trip, go on the beach, and have a real cool trip.
That would
by
be
trip, you all know what I mean based on this podcast.
Yes. And also, y'all got to come on my show, man.
Oh my God, we would love that.
That would be so fun.
Oh my God, Pepe, you want to
That'd
go?
be fucking awesome.
Pepe, will you come on the show?
I will do anything for you, Duncan.
Yeah, buddy. We'll do it on Zoom. We'll go to Austin. We'll do whatever the hell we need to do. We would love
do
to.
it. Okay,
Honored. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Duncan Trussel. Duncan Trussel, everybody!